says Tina. Who the fuck is Tina? Who the fuck is Tina?
Bitch, you know what? Get your shit and get out.
You know what? I love you, babe, but maybe we should take a break.
A break? Maybe you should kiss my ass.
Sound familiar? You in a relationship and this shit ain't working. It's time for the truth. This is the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason has returned to Dash Radio. We're live. We got started just a little bit late today. There was a interview happening in here with one of the members of 3-6 Mafia, and it kind of slowed us up a taste. But guess what? We're back, and we had to cover this topic. We kind of broached the topic Wednesday, but then we got off into some real freaky, bizarro sex orgasm business with a sex guru. But I felt like we had to come back and really, really deal with this topic. And that topic is, and you know, some people going to be upset. So I really want to get our listeners' take on this. The number to dial is 844-55-1. That's 844-55-1. It's not going to cost you anything to call this number because it's toll free. 1-844-55-radio. Today's topic, and I think it's important that we cover it. Of course, we're going to talk about police brutality, racism, the whole situation, but it's really going to center around the Department of Justice and the head of that department who, you know, is leaving. On his way out, he dropped a bomb. Eric Holder admits the hands up, don't shoot claim was bogus. And we really got to talk to a lot of black people now who took that claim to heart and was like, yo, let's deal with that, man. The hands up, don't shoot. The whole campaign was created by some Democrats in August of 2013. Now, we know Mike Brown was shot in August of 2014. To me, that sounds like propaganda. Getting people whipped up. What are they getting people whipped up for? We want to deal with that today. We want to deal with the fact that Eric Holder revealed that in his Department of Justice investigation into the shooting of Mike Brown. You know, the hands up, don't shoot slogan used by Democratic activists since August 2013 is a complete falsehood. Outgoing Attorney General Eric Holder admitted Wednesday. He acknowledged the faked story as he released the Justice Department's investigation of the August 2014 shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson. Y'all, we need to deal with this. Get to your phone lines right now, 844-55-1. It's important that we cover it. You know I got questions, but before I get to the questions, I got to introduce the team. This is the Voice of Reason right now. I got to bring in the team. They are the female voices. Sometimes they're Zoe's angels. Most times they're Zoe's demons. But I love them. I mean, shit. Get to your phone line, 844-55-1. Let me introduce quickly. Cheyenne Bryant is in the building. She's the beauty you love to hate. In the building right now. What's up, Cheyenne?
Hey, Zoe. Hello, y'all.
Okay, and of course, the flower power.
Yes.
The beautiful goddess.
I had to bring the peace today,
Yes,
guys.
yes.
My flower stuff. Whitney Tabor here, y'all. What's popping?
Whitney
Call
Tabor.
us. I'm excited for today. This is crazy.
I'm saying this is a town hall meeting right now. This is a town hall meeting. We want to discuss Eric Holder's Department of Justice claims that the slogan, hands up, don't shoot, was bogus. It was a lie. Damn, we got used as a people. We was marching. We had our hands up. We had T-shirts. I want to know who the author of this slogan is.
Who made all the money off of it is what I want to know.
Wow. And what was the intention behind it? Mm-hmm. Right? Who authored the slogan? Who created the slogan, hands up, don't shoot? And then think of it in these terms. Does the slogan even matter? Black people, let's just be real. Black people get their ass kicked on a regular by police departments. Mm-hmm. So does the slogan matter? Is it irrelevant because we still get our ass kicked? Somebody talk to me about it. 844-55-1. Cheyenne, what are your thoughts?
I mean, again, I think that, I think that the individual that tried to tie the slogan to the Mike Brown case was definitely, that was wrong. And it did, I don't know. I mean, I have mixed feelings, I have to say. I have mixed feelings. I think
You
that's,
always do.
Yeah, I always do. I know, huh? Here I go. Yeah, I just think it's wrong to tie it to Mike Brown if that wasn't a true statement that came from his mouth during that event.
I feel like it was probably part of the like they were using that to get people going. They were using that as a tool to enrage people to I guess try to find some sort of form of justice, but don't lie to people. That's messed up, man.
That's what they do.
That's messed up.
So let's look at it this way. Those Democratic activists are a part of the government process, right? Or the process of participating as a civilian within the government process, right? So you telling me some Democratic activists created propaganda? People are being manipulated.
No, can I top? I'm jumping in, man.
Speak.
It just makes me mad because I'm a young person and I'm trying to really make a change in this world. But how am I going to change when the guys are running it are lying? What else are we lying about? I want to know. Marching around isn't doing nothing for us. So, I think that what happens is the person who made up this slogan, seen that there was a crack in the concrete and was able to monopolize off of something and went for it. And a lot of times when people don't do their own research, this is what happens.
But how do you research it?
Yeah.
What if it was a cabal that got together? Like this little underground Illuminati crew that was like, we need to control this situation.
But who is the author of the slogan? Do we know that?
We don't. Now, if we're listening to Eric Holder breaks it down this way. He offered some consultation to the Democratic activists by saying abusive actions by local police help spur, right, subsequent riots. Now, if we do the research, we already know that whole department in Ferguson is on the edge of being, okay, you guys are going to get fired. You guys are going to get the hell kicked out because you're racist. But let's really ask that. Let's really go into that question. Everybody knows Ferguson is 75% black, right? And the police department is what, 85, 90% white, right? But if your whole city is black, wouldn't it, if 75% of your city is black, wouldn't it stand to reason that the majority of the people that get in trouble would be black?
Makes sense.
Even if the police department was 90% black.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it stand to reason? Mm-hmm. Just like the police department's in a white city that's 85% white, it would stand to reason that most of the people who get in trouble, the criminals, the felons in that town, are white, regardless of the ethnic makeup of the police department. Mm-hmm. But that still doesn't let the Ferguson Police Department off the hook for being racist, right? Listen, what game is being played here? Because I'm a big conspiracy guy, right? I'm a huge conspiracy guy. What game is being played right now? Were they trying to manufacture a riot? 844-55-1. Were they trying to manufacture this? For what purpose?
Were they trying to divert our eyes?
Our attention?
What were they doing? What else are they doing? I don't know. Call us. 844-55-1.
Yes. Holder also claims that police abuse helped divert the media coverage about the report from his admissions that the much televised hands up, don't shoot slogan is based on false claims. Now, if we go back to Don Lemon, the worst journalist in the world, he won that award outright. You know, he was trying to make people, even Jesse Jackson was like, the civil rights movement didn't go like that. It wasn't just all peace. Even the peaceful side of the riots, we fought. You know, we got pushed to a point where we fought. You know, no, these guys are rioting wrong. Can you, coons, tell them how to riot right and riot with their head down and their hand out like Caesar from Planet of the Apes? Can we submit while we're rioting? I mean, let's speak to this. There are a lot of mitigating factors happening. The phone lines are on fire already. Let's get to the lines. We've got JT from Los Angeles. What are your thoughts about this shocking revelation?
Hey, you know, before you even get to the Michael Brown thing, think back to Eric Holder and the Trayvon Martin case, because after the verdict came out that George Zimmerman was going to be acquitted, Eric Holder promised a Justice Department investigation, said, wait, nobody get too upset yet. We're going to bring federal charges, civil rights charges against George Zimmerman as soon as we complete our investigation, right?
Right.
And then the investigation happened, and then very, very quietly, Eric Holder just let it leak out that there weren't going to be any charges, just like there aren't any charges now against Officer Wilson after that investigation. So something is going on here, and unfortunately what it is the government, certain people within the government, would love to keep white people and black people hating each other.
Ooh,
they would love it.
There we go.
And, you know, there's a reason for that. But let me ask you this, though. So now the report comes out, and there's not going to be any charges against Officer Wilson, and hands up, don't shoot didn't really happen. Now, if you're a white person in this country like I am, wouldn't you be angry and say, what was all the protesting about?
Wow.
That didn't happen. So not only are you know, the people in Ferguson and probably black people all over the country, not only are they angry about the report, white people are angry about the report because we have to watch the protests every day on the news, and that never happened. The T-shirt that I want to sell is going to say, hands up, don't shoot, didn't happen.
Dang. I need one of those.
Somebody call us right now. The number is 844-55-1. Hey, brother Jeff, thank you. JT, thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call. It's going to be crazy. We've got more
nuts.
callers on the line.
No, that's what he said is crazy.
What he said was...
No, it's really real. I'm a biracial person in America. My father is a white law enforcement officer, so it was really crazy to look and see all of the things that are going on. But I need to buy that shirt JT was talking about. How can we just erase things like that? It kind of it pisses me off.
But he brings up a
me mad.
great point. It seems as if this conspiracy is about keeping the races apart. Are there any real benefits for the races being together?
Absolutely.
And if so, what are they? And why would people create these false narratives? Again, the United States is considered one of the dumbest cultures in America.
Is it
Right? Entertainment, just follow me for a second.
All right.
Entertainment, right, has been in existence for a long time. Back in medieval times, the entertainer was the court jester or the fool, who later became the joker in the deck of cards, right? That's your court jester. Now, court jesters are by default role models, right? Community leaders. They don't have to be smart. They just have to be famous. And now you take their advice. In America, somebody writes a book, they're by default an expert. They didn't have to go to school for it. They're an expert. So again, we're a nation that's being led by court jesters, right? So think about it. Even some of the bona fide, quote unquote, celebrities are pissed off at the reality star because now the reality star is a bigger star than they are.
Right.
Right? And they have this influence that comes via television. Again, we get dumbed down day in, day out. I mean, this is a crazy situation. Hands up, don't shoot was bogus.
It didn't happen.
You had guys in the NBA wearing the shirt. You had guys in the NFL wearing the shirt. Then what about? Go ahead.
You had people were getting mad. They shouldn't play. Why should the Clippers not play? Because they don't want to wear a T-shirt, and now all of a sudden it's just gonna disappear? That's weird to me.
Wow.
That's really weird to me.
Wow.
People were marching all over LA. I was in one of the marches. Let me tell you, I was there
Marching
around, all black, everything. I walked.
If we can you see what's happening? A lot of information came out, right? A lot of information came out. The Pentagon is doing what? Sending surplus military equipment to local police departments. So the police departments are being over militarized. They're preparing for something. And I think they tried to use Ferguson. They tried to use Tamar Rice. They tried to use Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Oscar Grant. They're trying to use these killings, these slayings,
As a buffer.
to push something into effect. Is it martial law? Ferguson police officers quit after JOD report, Justice Department report. Ferguson police officers are now quitting, right? 2 Ferguson police officers quit. Court clerk filed after the justice report came out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the line right now Veronica Conway. Veronica, you're on the line. Talk to us about this potential conspiracy that's trying to push people maybe into a race war. Speak to that.
Because the programming is deep. The reason that I hypnotize people, black people, is because we have been so deeply hypnotized through that box called the television machine that we have forgotten. We think up is down and right is left, right? And we're so confused. And you know, they say that in preparation. Listen, I'm a daughter of a Panther. Okay, so I'm doing a new kind of revolution. I call it an evolution, right? But when I was in my childhood, we studied military strategy. We studied the conditioning and the programming that happened to a culture prior to the military strategy. Because you have to have a psychological strategy. You got to prime people's minds to be ready to discount black lives, for brothers and sisters to discount each other, right? For white people to discount black lives. All of that requires propaganda, which is what we've been seeing.
But black people don't understand propaganda, right? Really, propaganda is...
Propaganda. We're sitting and suckling at the tit of propaganda all the time. Listen, if you want to get really esoteric about it, let me say this and still be loved. If you follow the line of thinking that black people are the natural manifestors of the universe, because our kinky hair, our DNA spirals, our melanated skin is a conductor of energy, then what gets held in our subconscious gets made manifest. So if that's true, and Nichama proves this, because Nichama has worked with all races, all people across the thing, and because he's in very intimate conversations with people of power, black, white, and other, one of the things that he knows that they know is that their lack of melanation can't generate and manifest, can't cause things into reality. So what if you were to hijack the black person's consciousness, feed it a bunch of garbage, and have their subconscious manifesting the reality for you?
Wow. That's heavy. Veronica, stay on with us. You're our special guest. I want you to stay on with us. We've got other callers. Let's get them in here real quick to deal with that. But we got to take a quick break. When we come back, oh my God, today's topic.
I'm
Ferguson was a farce.
I'm mad, y'all.
Ferguson was a farce. Get to your phone lines. I'm talking to my peoples today. 844-5800. 55-1. So what? Zoe Williams, voice of reason. Aha. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned. And again, man, this topic is bananas. I don't think y'all recognize so many contradictions, so many issues, so many contradictions, so many flaws in what happened with Mike Brown. Was it wrong? Absolutely. It was wrong. They shouldn't have shot and killed that boy. Right? And because they shot and killed the boy unjustly, in my opinion, disrespectfully. I did a show a little while ago called It's Not to Serve and Protect, right? It's to serve and disrespect, especially when it comes to the black experience, right? White people don't have the experience of driving while black. They don't have that. They don't have the experience of white privilege, right? They don't have that. Or black people don't have the experience of white privilege, right? Just by default, because I'm white, I'm accepted into different institutions or whatever. But at the same time, look at it this way. Just because you're wronged, does it justify just being barbaric? Mike Brown didn't say, don't shoot. But his mom's boyfriend did say, burn this bitch down. Wow. What is our recourse? Is our recourse only violence? Is it only destruction? Because I'm going to tell you something what Farrakhan said, and, I respect Farrakhan. He said something that was amazing. You can't out-kill the American government. Nope. The American government is the master of killing.
That's real.
You can't out-kill them, right? So if they're planning and prepping, right, to push you, first, how they push you? Ideologically, sociologically. Right? We're going to create classism, ageism, racism, sexism. We're going to put all of these isms on your ass and lock you down and force you to respond in a certain way. So then we'll be justified in our response. You getting pimped ideologically before you getting pimped any other way. Somebody get to your phone lines, 844-55-1.
Art of war, baby. That is the art of war, baby. That is the art of war.
Sung, how do you say his name? Sun Tzu, right? He simply said one of his greatest forms of war is the art of war is fighting without fighting. Like I'm going to pull your brain's pants down, and I'm gonna anal fuck your mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got a little rough.
Man.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Getting crazy.
Jesus, but I'm going to do that.
Right.
And that's going to cause you to respond and react in certain ways that now makes me blameless for how far I get to cross the line. Who want to talk about this right now? What's up, Veronica? How you doing?
I'm good. But, the thing that we have to also understand, it's funny because they didn't do charges for the officer, but there's a 102-page report about the Ferguson Police Department that is scathing.
Sure.
And when the police chief was asked to comment on it, he refused. They're dropping like flies because they said they made the numbers like it's this, the disproportionate. They realized that they were really just monetizing. They were using the $2 million a year that they were getting in traffic fines and violations and all that stuff. They were using that $2 million a year to monetize white life in Ferguson. That's what they discovered.
Wow.
through the court and penal system, right? And so they got called on it because they got a report, and that's going to have an impact. So much so that the police, and they found racist emails back and forth amongst all the police officers.
Yeah.
In addition to that,
if
you think back to Anonymous, when Anonymous, the hacktivist group, launched Op Ferguson, because understand this, I've watched this very, very closely from the beginning, because I'm an evolutionary girl. Anonymous when it first started to go down, they did an operation, and they went in. The reason that Ferguson is as alive and as visible and as global as it is as a movement is because Anonymous got outraged, and they weaponized the media. They made it known far and wide and globally within 48 hours. You could watch it go down on Twitter.
And if you guys
weaponized the media.
And if you guys think Veronica is just making this up, the CNN report says racist emails, like one that depicted President Obama as a chimpanzee, resulted in 3 Ferguson, Missouri city employees resigning or being fired, the city spokesman said Friday. Police officers, Captain Rick Heineke, however you pronounce his name, and Sergeant William Mudd resigned Thursday over the emails discovered during the U.S. Department of Justice investigation of racial prejudice in the city's police and judicial system. So now there's a racial, first off, we already know that there's a racial bias in the judicial system. But when you start getting emails like you're a Sony executive going back and forth and they're racist, let's think about that for a second. How do black people get a break when racism is integrated in the system of justice? Speak to that, Veronica.
But see, the thing is I think we get all charged up about the monkey emails. And what it stops us from doing is getting clear about the economics. They were taxing us to the tune of taxing Ferguson residents to the tune of $2 million a year in trumped up fines and charges and all that. They were taxing the community. It was slavery. Remember, police force was designed out of the slave patrol. The first police force were people that were going out and hunting and killing and bringing back slaves.
Wow.
That's the origin of the police force in America. That's
overseer.
Where it comes from.
The police officer was the slave overseer.
Absolutely. It's not changed very much. The only difference is that now there's so much, it's so visible because of social media. It's so visible because of programs like yours. There's just, everything goes viral really quickly. Anonymous does an amazing job of taking things viral, like in 48 hours. Remember, when they first uncovered all this stuff in Ferguson, the Klan started making threats down in Ferguson. So Anonymous said, we're going to do a whole campaign, hoods off, KKK hoods off.
Wow.
They shut down all the KKK servers. They outed all of them, and they realized that there were so many KKK that were intrinsically connected to the police department in Ferguson.
That's when they took the picture inside the chief's house, and you saw the Confederate flag just up on the wall at the dude's crib. Veronica, really quickly, hon, we got to go to some callers. Who do we have on the line?
We have Bravo from Houston. You there? Bravo? Bravo.
Braveezy.
You there?
He got boost mode.
Oh,
it's cool.
He's out of there. What about Brian from Michigan? Where you at, B? Brian, you there? Brian.
Okay, they got tired of holding. It's all good. Hey, we gonna talk about it.
Call back.
But I need you to get to your phone lines, 844-55-1. That's 844-55-1. It's very important that we cover this topic, and the reason being, I see black people, the community, melting down. This is just me. Like there's so many people that have platforms. There's so many people that have a voice and a mic, and we out here battling and bickering with each other. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Cheyenne,
right.
What do you have?
My question is, are the people with the platform and the politics and those relationships that can implement or help with some of the solutions, are they doing enough? Or, I mean, can they and should they be doing more? That's my question.
I think everybody can do more, but what I think is the problem with the black community is we're always judging what we're doing, what the next man is doing. We're always negatively critiquing and negatively evaluating what the next man is doing instead of uplifting, respecting, empowering, and motivating that person who may be doing less than you, but they are doing something, motivating them to do more. Veronica? And then...
So, I have been, because I brought coaching to the Black community. I founded coaching in the Black community. And because of that unique founder's role, I went behind the scenes with a lot of what I call the Black Afrostocracy. All of the elite organizations, the Black organizations, the professional associations, because we brought coaching to those organizations. And I ended up coaching a lot of their leaders. And so hear me when I say to you that they may not be perfect, but what is true is that they are organizing to make a difference. And some of them have a lot of the problem is that they don't, because Black folks haven't been angry enough, and because we don't recycle our dollars into our own community, what happens is that if National Urban League or any of these organizations wants to put on an event, they have to get a white sponsor because Black people won't pay enough to fund all this stuff. So if we don't have an economic base to fund our Black organizations, then they become polluted with white agendas.
Wow. So Whitney has a quick point, Veronica.
I was just adding to everything Veronica is saying. And for people who really don't get it, it's crabs in a barrel. Everybody just wants to nobody wants to see anybody else doing better than them, and we spoke on it a few episodes ago. If we just put our dollars together, we could do great things. But like I said, everybody's too busy.
Recycling of Black dollars, community empowerment. I mean, it's important.
We're too busy doing other stuff. And what it really means to listen, I know Maggie Anderson of the Empowerment Experiment. She made a decision to buy only from Black businesses for a year. She wrote a book about it called Our Black Year. I know her personally. She's an amazing woman, an amazing story. And yet I would talk to her and she'd be in tears because she'd go on CNN and talk about her thing, and she had white people giving her death threats because why was she saying spend Black? But Black people weren't supporting it.
Wow.
So at a certain point, Black folks have got to understand the real danger that we are up against.
Wow.
And we have got to find a way to put our money where our mouth is. And stop tripping about
Well, it's hard, but Veronica, it's too difficult to do that because we don't we got a lot of money. We're scheduled to spend $1.1 trillion this year. So we have a lot of money, but the problem is we don't value each other's business. Yeah. We don't value each other's business sense. We don't value each other's products. Again, even look at our kids. Our kids won't wear clothes that don't have a European name on it. It's got to be a name brand. And what Black name brand See, Gucci stays in style forever. Louis Vuitton stays in style forever. If you bring some Sean John home to your kids right now, or some FUBU or some Rocker, where they're going to be like, this is dusty. We don't wear this. This is dusty. What are you doing? Right? So Black brands go out of style.
And
Go ahead, Whitney.
For me, it's like, if we don't believe in our own brands, then why would the white people want to put their money in there as well? I'm not going to throw my dollar. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I feel like white people are looking at it. Well, they don't even want to support themselves. So why should I throw my money in that I worked hard for with all my white friends? Why should I throw my money at y'all?
Right. Like, listen, really quickly. Hold on, Veronica. VC. Stay with me, babe. Stay with me.
She's ready.
She's ready. She Virgo.
Ready.
I already know what this is.
Oh, yeah, you got 3 of us.
Yes. We have callers on the line.
We have a caller, Dizzy from Chicago. Are you there? Dizzy.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Dizzy, how are you?
I'm chilling, man. How's everybody over there at the Voice of Reason?
Turned up.
Great. So, Dizzy, what is your thoughts on this subject? What do you think?
Man, I feel like that this whole thing is just like a big slap in the face, because it's like how 6 months ago they couldn't find no evidence, but then 6 months later all the evidence says the police are corrupt and racist. So like I don't get it. Like, so you shoot him, the evidence clearly says it was racist, and you know what I'm saying, but 6 months later, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like they just. Like, because ever since Mike Brown, I woke up angry. You know what I'm saying? When I watch the news, because it's like, You know what I'm saying? I see, like, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's regular now, like, you know what I'm saying? Take a black life, you know what I'm saying? It's not just blacks, but it just, you know, it just hurts because it's like, you know, I feel like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying?
Man, and that's heavy because, Dizzy, let me just say, man, it's heavy because, first off, you can see propaganda. We're going to create this false slogan, hands up, don't shoot. Then when they do the Department of Justice investigation, now we have people who said his hands were up, recanting their statements, pulling it back. Nah, I didn't see that. So now there's a discrepancy. It puts everybody in a positionality of mistrust.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't want to trust what the government is saying. Because, listen, governments aren't about freedom. Let's just understand that. Let's just get real. The government is not about freedom. The government is about governing.
Controlling.
You look up the word govern from the Latin, it means limiter. You look up the word freedom, get any law dictionary, get Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition, and you look up the word freedom. It means unconditional. Freedom. I can do what the fuck I want to, right? That's what it means. I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. We don't have freedom. We have something called liberty. Liberty is freedom within constraints. It's like diet freedom or freedom doing a bid. That's liberty. Somebody call us at 844-55-1. We got somebody else on the line right now. Yusuf, South Carolina. Holla at us, brother.
Peace and blessings, Brother Williams, and all those beautiful listeners out there, and to those succulent co-hosts you got on panel.
They are
you.
as succulent as baby spinach
Hello,
leaves.
Yusef.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm going to run through this because I know you guys don't want to hear me talk a bunch of shit. From the beginning to the end, you got nothing but your word, your loyalty, and your love for your brother and sister. At the end of the day, all this money shit, all these ideas that you hold on to, they really don't mean anything. And it's sad that we get to the end of our lives before we actually realize that. And by then, all our relationships have crashed, and the world has pretty much crumbled, and the generation after us pretty much has to bleed slowly. There's really no other way than that.
Do you think, Yusuf, let me ask you this, Yusuf. Let me ask you this question. Do you think the propaganda machine was using all of these black deaths at the hands of the police, right, to tap into the confusion and black rage that the black community has towards the establishment? Do you think they were trying to create a wick to blow that powder keg up?
Well, when the establishment drug your ass from a place that was never intentionally meant to have you surviving in the first place, you're pretty much like a mouse in a cage. You're gonna run left, right, up, and down, but guess what? You're still in a fucking cage.
Wow.
And I'm not black. I'm Coptic. I'm from Egypt. My family has been in Egypt as long as I can remember. You see the kind of propaganda they're putting on the screens right now with the Coptic deaths and everything. Man, that's been happening for a long, long time. It's not a black issue. It's not a white issue. It's ideologies that get a hold of you and you can't think straight.
Right.
It has nothing to do with color. And Brother Williams, you on another plateau right now, and you're talking with a small minute of people who maybe might not get it yet, maybe might not get it in their entire lifetime. But I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you getting me on the show. Listen to what I got to say. I love you, brother. Peace and blessings to everybody.
Wow.
Take care, guys.
Much respect, fam.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Yusuf.
it.
Thank you,
Veronica
Yusuf.
Conway, can you chime in on what he was talking about?
Well, I love what he's saying. He's absolutely right. I mean, we came over here in chains, and we're still in chains 400 years later. We just don't recognize it.
Right.
Because the chains are mental now.
Wow.
And we're so, one of the difficulties that we face, when we talked the other night with the Chama, I've worked with him for, 12 years plus. And people really want to...
Cheyenne wants to work with him too.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd
go
throw that out there.
Go deeper, Veronica. Tell me more.
Go deeper
Go
on
deeper.
the voice of
He'll
reason.
do it, y'all.
Don't miss it. But one of the things that happens when you begin to, because we think, I just want to have some orgasms. That would be great. But one of the deeper things that happens, that he alluded to, is that a woman actually, when she understands herself and starts to burn off all of that toxic stuff in her psyche that she has been poured into her, and she becomes an open channel to the divine. And so what happens is that she sees things more clearly, she manifests things with more clarity, but there's another deep pain that comes with that, and that is the pain of coming into contact with reality. And the more, it's like Neo in the Matrix, it's like the more you come into contact with what reality really is and how it's really going down around here, it's painful. It's actually excruciating. It actually makes you want to go, when you first come into contact, it's beautiful because you come to know yourself, you come to know the divine in a different way, but it also rips the scales from your eyes.
Wow.
And so it's not for the faint of heart, because it's really about getting to the truth. And when you can energetically and vibrationally perceive the truth and magnetize things to you that are of truth, it changes your perspective on this experience on planet Earth. It just does.
Wow. So look, let me do this really quickly. Let me do this really quickly, Veronica. You know we love the heat you're bringing to us.
Always.
But I forgot to do something at the very top of the show. Hecka Activated is calling in at the top of the hour.
Yes.
She will be doing readings.
Yes.
Hecka Activated, celebrity psychic medium. If you want a reading, and don't come in here pussyfooting with your questions. Like, if you want some real, she gonna tell you, man, she can see it. She scares me sometimes. I mean, Jesus. If you want a reading, Hecka Activated at the top of the hour. The number to dial is 844-55-1. That's 844-55-1. Toll free. It's not going to cost you. Your cell phone provider will not get at you with extra charges. This is a toll free line. This is what we do. I would like to get Hecka's insight on, like, her psychic insight on how all of this is going to unfold. Like, are we really headed toward a race riot?
War.
Are they really going to push it to that point? What about concentration camps? Right? Like I'm a conspiracy theorist. Let me tell you, one of my favorite philosophers, I always mention him, J. Krishnamurti. If you get a chance, go out and buy some of his books. Freedom from the Known. The great martial artist, Bruce Lee, created Jeet Kune Do, his vaunted martial arts style, partly off of Jiddu Krishnamurti's philosophy. Right? Please, there's a book called 100 Years of Krishnamurti, and they take the writings of Bruce Lee and they put them side by side to the writings of Krishnamurti, and he clearly extrapolated some of his basic concepts from Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti's thought that I wanted to put here was, he said, it is ideological thinking, conceptual thinking that keeps people separate. Now, that's a heavy thing to say. So bring that back to the sickest portion of the American society, and that's black folk. You got black folk who went to black colleges, think they better than black folk who went to JC's.
What?
Right? You got black folk who went to school, period, who think they better. You got black people who got jobs, think they better. You got black men and women at war with each other. You got black men at war with each other. And don't tell me, if I keep pumping in these insidious oppositional concepts into your community, right, that you're not going to self-destruct. And what is self-destruction? Self-destruction is disunity. You spend more money than anybody. We got more money than a lot of countries.
That's crazy.
Black folk. But I can't have you have that money together. That's why I respect Jews. Jews got their money together. Fuck what you talking about.
Keep it together.
We're going to keep this money up inst here. That ain't Jew speak. We're going to keep this money up inst here. Inst here. They say the Jewish dollar recycles itself at least 18 times before it leaves its community. They say the black dollar recycles in its community about 1.5.
I was going to say,
And that's my point. That's what I was going to say is that, and if the black community had the Jewish dollar amount, would we recycle it within our culture and community like the Jews do? I mean, because a lot of times
the Jews or the Jews?
They got the Jews.
Jeez,
I'm so cold in here. I can't even. My mouth is like frozen.
Yo, they have the Jews, but we
Your
have the money though.
frozen in here.
How many? You just said we have $1 trillion. How much? We have the money, so why aren't we doing it?
But when we say we, are we saying we as in Americans, or we as in the black community? Because the black community, we do have, as Veronica kind of stated earlier, we share some of that money because of the fact that African Americans don't support each other's businesses. We do have to share a lot of that money with the white people because they are the ones that are coming in and investing or supporting a lot of our businesses because we have no other reason but to allow them to enter for our business to grow. So, yes, proportionally, we have some of that money. But at the same time, because we have to implement the white agenda into it because they are part of the investors, we can't just keep it only in the black community. But go ahead.
I feel like there has to be some black investors that have bank. If we have a $1 trillion, that would be there's got to be some big balling black dudes that got some checks. Let me get one.
Go ahead, Veronica. Veronica, come on.
I think George said that George Frazier, my client, who's been on your shows, though, says it best. He's really that dude that's talking black economics, and he's done the due diligence. I think we'd be like, I forget what number it is. We'd be like the
fifth.
15th richest country in the world, just black people with our $1.1 trillion with the GDP. But it all goes away from us, right? So, listen, watch this. If every black business that's a solopreneur, like I'm a solopreneur, I'm a small business, less than 5 employees, right? If every black solopreneur in the country hired one black employee, we would eradicate black unemployment. What? So be careful when they train you that, like, we're powerless and we can't do anything with our buying power. The reason that our black businesses go by the wayside, which is what Maggie Anderson of the Empowerment Experiment figured out. She's like, the black businesses have just gone by the wayside because we've gotten so tired and disillusioned about all of this stuff, right? But we've got 1.1 trillion, and we could grow that amongst ourselves. But we just haven't made the decision to do it.
I think black people are afraid. And you know why I think we're afraid? Black Wall Street.
Oh, yep.
We recycled money.
Yeah, we tried.
And now the first bomb ever dropped on a city happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Correct.
See, white people have a way of saying, don't you do that shit, nigga.
That's a slap on the hand.
Don't you do that. Oh, you getting together, huh? You working together? You're inspiring each other? The first terrorist act ever. Ask yourself a question. Who was the first terrorist group? Was it the KKK? A lot of people don't want... See, when you start talking about America and terrorism, you don't see the two put together because America is always Superman, right? The clean-cut superhero that's always for justice and liberty for all, right? But at the same time, I mean, you really look at it objectively when you start seeing, okay, America funds both sides of the war. Any war they're in. How the fuck you go to war with Saddam Hussein and he used to be a CIA agent? How do you go to war with, Osama, and he used to be a CIA agent? I'm just
and friends with the Bushes Friends with the Bushes,
and then the Bushes are presidents, and now you the bad guy. You got to play the bad guy right now. Right now you got to be the bad guy, and now ISIS is this new enemy
Play your role.
We're going to keep having these enemies. Why? Because they got to get that region of the world in alignment with the New World Order. Somebody get at us right now, 844-55-1. Somebody get at us right now, 844-55-1. This show is getting crazy right now.
Crazy.
It's getting crazy. Listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, more of the Ferguson farce. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned. Let me just say, man, during the breaks, this motherfucker turns into a nightclub. Whitney and Cheyenne, they filming and videoing and dancing and Snapchatting. It get crazy up in here.
Keep my Instagram and you can see all the shenanigans.
Hands in the air.
Hey.
Listen, before I introduce Hecka and Veronica back to the show, I had a conversation with the homie, OG, legend, hip-hop god, Cool Mo D. I was talking to him today, and we were talking about what the topic was going to be, and he said, man, black folks don't fit into America because of our original purpose for being brought here.
We weren't supposed to be.
Right? So, well, we were already here.
We weren't supposed to.
Like, if you start doing the history, you start doing the history, there were black people that were already here.
Word.
Right. And, when you get deep into the history, they, a lot of them were Moors. And the Moors had papers that distinguished them from the West Africans that were brought here. So the Moors were considered freemen, right? Boondocks, Morgan Freeman, right? Or Robert Freeman, right? That was the character, right? So again, there were brothers here that were already free, that were already here, considered indigenous, which is why they mixed in with the Indians. And so the Indians had, I don't want to drop too much information, but the Indians had, the red thunderbird and then the more ancient black thunderbird symbology within their totems. I mean, this is a whole nother science. That's why the Indians accepted us right in, because they knew right off the top who we were. Right? So not all people that were brought here from Africa, or not all the people that were here already, were slaves. But what Mo was saying, in particular, the people that were brought here, they were never meant to fit within, this social construct other than via slavery. So he was saying they were brought here for slave labor. Once the business model changes, right? I don't need a field of slaves in the field because somebody created the cotton gin. I don't need that no more. And once the business model changed, now what am I going to do with this emancipated slave? Right? So guess what? Oh, Albert Pike, who's a Mason, he's the one who created the Knights of Templar, which the KKK, like if you do your research, you'll find out the KKK are, they're a Christian order, but they read a holy book called not the Quran or the Koran, but the Chloran. Really? Wow. So there's your first little terrorist group right there. Right. And their job was the emancipated slave can't get the vote. We can't give him the power of the vote. Just like they were trying to keep the woman from voting. I mean, if you really want to know what's happening. So now what? What we going to do with these niggas? So it became a process. We have to condition the nigga. We have to institutionalize his mind to think our perspective is the successful perspective. Dress the way we tell you to dress. Respond the way we tell you to respond. Act the way we tell you to act. Spend your money on what we tell you to spend your money on. View your people the way we tell you to view your people. I mean, just you really think about what's happening. Doesn't this produce the best environment for a racial powder keg?
Definitely does.
Look how black people who act right, who still get abused the way the black people who don't act right, look at how they respond. Okay, now, if you pull you over, you put your head down. You put your hands on the steering wheel, right? You say, yes, sir. You say, no, sir. You show him your paperwork, and you get out of there alive.
It's crazy.
That's the reality.
It's really
That's
real.
bananas, yeah.
Tell me I'm bullshitting right now. 844
No, look,
55
but my-
dash 1.
go in.
No, my question is just so, I hear you. However, I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think that the black woman experienced similar or the same challenges as a black man does?
She probably experienced worse.
Wait a minute. So you see, okay, so then it's all within perspective.
She probably experienced worse, but the difference between, listen, black women, just like any women, are dominated by estrogen. Estrogen is a fucking hormone that builds things. It's a nesting, like what sisters did was, well, fuck it. We here, I'm going to try to build the best situation from what I got. And that story was depicted in the movie Roots, right? This is why Kunta got his foot chopped off, because he went chasing after the slave girl who came with him. Now he goes to her after not seeing her for a long time because she's on another plantation. He escapes his plantation, gets to her and says, Fanta, I came to rescue you. We need to run her. She said, run where? This is America, nigga. We can't go back to Africa. And he calling her by her African name, Fanta. She said, nigga, I ain't Fanta no more. I'm Maggie. That's what Massa called me. I'm Maggie. Don't call me Fanta. And he's like, well, damn, babe, I came all the way this way to come get you. I ain't going nowhere. Then he wants to be with her. She said, nigga, this womb is for Massa, for birthing Massa's babies. So what happens to our sisters is it's easier to get our sisters to integrate into the system because our sisters are the builders. So then our sisters turn around and tell us, now get with the program, nigga, or you're not considered a real man. Because I've taken a survivalist approach. Can you speak to that, Veronica?
That's beautifully said. And it's beautifully said because it really does paint a tremendous picture of what's happening in our culture. I mean, the thing is that the deep thing is that ever since slavery was actually eradicated, nothing has fundamentally changed. It looks like it's changed. We just turned slaves into consumers. Mm-hmm. And spend all their money back on the plantation. Make no mistake. It's just, it looks different, but it ain't different.
Wow. Listen, we've got Hecka activated on the line. Hecka, welcome to the show. Cheyenne has a point she wanted to make. You don't have a point? Don't show me a picture of you in a leather miniskirt.
Oh, no.
Okay, Jesus.
Don't even go there.
Hecka, you are my resident celebrity psychic medium. And mind you, everybody, these readings are the mini version. If you want the real version, what website do they go to, Hecka?
Hey, y'all. Go to heckaactivated.com. Hecka, H-E-K, activate, H-E-K-A, I'm sorry. Activated.com is the website.
Right.
To purchase a session.
So let me ask you this, Hecka.
Mm-hmm.
Using your psychic powers, do you see a race war and martial law coming to America? 855-55-1.
Well, honestly, I don't feel as if things are going to be the way people are trying to make them sound or as bad as people are trying to make them sound, honestly. I feel like there will be some form of change that comes about, but I think all the change is going to happen very subtly. Of course, there's going to be war. I mean, we can't disregard war that has already taken place, war that's going to continue to take place. But I think all of this commotion is really to just get black people warred up to fight and kind of take advantage of them.
Have you noticed that all of the melaninated people of the world, like black and brown, blacks got pyramids, the browns have pyramids, but the black and brown hate each other. Have you noticed that even the Polynesians don't want to be considered black? Like, where do you think your root seed comes from? Right? All over the world, the melaninated people are at each other's throat. In the Caribbean, I don't like Dominicans, and the Jamaicans don't like each other, and the Haitians don't like each other. Don't call me Jamaican, I'm Haitian. Or don't. Right? Why is it that way? Because I think if there was a unity amongst all of the melaninated people on planet Earth, what would the minority what would they do? What would the white minority do?
They would trip. They always
Speak on
trip.
that.
I'm saying, like, in a ton of different countries. What am I talking about? In a ton of different sets of people, the darker you are, the more you are, ugly or shunned or this and the other. Like every race that I've met and been in contact with, I don't get it. I don't like it. I feel like we should all just mix it up, turn up.
She's at the nightclub right now. I think we should just turn it up. DJ, turn up the beats real quick.
That's it.
That's what Whitney wants. Let's just all dance. So fresh is so clean. Yeah.
And we would have more than $1 trillion, I feel like. If we all did that, we would be balling out of control.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But you know what the problem with that is?
I guess
Well, one at a time. One at a
sorry.
time. That was Veronica chiming in, and then Hecka.
Go ahead.
Okay. Problem that listen, if you read the ISIS papers and Frances Cress Welsing, who I think is a genius, she broke it down the most clearly. She said, the reason that racism exists, Osho said it too, essentially is because the planet is afraid of the black man fucking. Because if that happens, because of the dominant gene that black people carry with their melanation, if everybody got together and had sex and made beautiful brown babies like they have in Brazil, the reason that it's so beautiful in Brazil is because they didn't have enough white folks when they colonized it, and they had to interbreed. That's why everybody looks like, like mocha cappuccino.
They look delicious down there. Jesus.
And
fuck around and go down there and build a tribe.
The white race would cease to exist in just a few generations. And so it all comes down to sex.
Wow.
It all comes down to sex.
Let's get it popping.
Do you really believe that that's the key? Sex and procreation, and we don't want the black man's numbers to outnumber us, and
yes. Well, they already do. They already do. And so
when this is what I want to know. When do black people stop fucking blaming the white man? Hecka?
Boom.
Hecka, speak to that.
I guess what I was going to say was that everybody's talking about a race war, and I'm trying to understand who's the war against. What race against? What race? There's much more.
Go ahead, because I got excited. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, the majority of the earth are colored people. So is it going to be colored people against white people?
No.
I'm trying to understand.
You just hit it on the head. You know what it's going to be? The race war is black against black.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to knock us down a little bit.
My point, and that's the point exactly. I mean, white people don't have to come up with a race war for black people because black people are warring against each other.
But I feel like the white people are in charge of it. They're using, certain things in media and whatnot to control.
I don't know if they're using anything.
Man.
I just think the shit is on autopilot.
People are killing each other.
It's not
with
like
Jordans.
there's this this big-headed little white man behind a curtain, the Wizard of Oz type that's back there pulling levers, racial levers. I think it's just autopilot.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think at the beginning, and still now, whoever's behind the scenes, if you want to call it or him the white man, has put things in the media and other things.
You want a white man. You want to marry a white man. It's been clear.
You know what? Whoever can
Hecka
deal
told us
with me, I'm okay
that you
with
want
that.
a white man.
Hecka hasn't told me when he's coming.
But
That's
the
the
babies
next
will
question,
be
Hecka.
mixed, my guy.
But to finish my point, I was just saying that I think it's a bit of both. I think that it is a bit of autopilot now because we have been put on that based on what we've already seen and what is already in our subconscious. But I do believe what you said, Whitney, is that a lot of in the media and music and so forth and billboards and advertisement, they are still subconsciously brainwashing us and manipulating us.
Let me tell you right now.
Of course, absolutely.
And let me tell you right now, and Hecka, roll with me on this, because I'm gonna come right to you.
Hecka, when is the white man coming?
No, wait. let me say this. Black people ain't gonna get shit right until we stop being the world champions of hating.
Haters.
We are the greatest haters
Very true.
on planet Earth.
On each other.
We hate each other more than any other race.
But why do we do that, though?
And that goes back to
Hecka?
what you and Hecka were saying.
Hecka, speak on that.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. And it's like we're constantly fighting against one another. And then after we're fighting against one another, we want to look at the news and say, oh, it's the news fault. It's the white man's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. We can never, ever, ever take responsibility for our own actions. And until we can take responsibility for our own actions, we ain't going to do anything.
Okay, I got a question for both of y'all.
Quick,
I got a question for everybody. And Veronica is back. I got a question for everybody. Everybody's got to answer this. Everybody's got to answer this.
Come on with it.
Everybody's got to answer this.
Let's go. Say this.
When it comes to defeating haterism in the black community, that's right, write it down.
No.
Defeating haterism in the black community. Who is going to initiate it?
Kanye.
The black man or the black woman?
I don't think it's a who. I think that it's everyone. It's
No,
not
no,
the black man
No,
first,
because
the black woman
you got to
second.
listen to where I'm coming from here. And the reason why I'm coming from
sorry.
this angle is because what is lacking in the community is leadership. So if the sister does not respect the man and the man doesn't respect the sister, who is going to initiate it? Who's more likely to initiate it? Whitney?
Yo, it's the women. It's the women. I'm sorry. We run this. We run everything. You guys all work and do things to impress us. Like the dude came and he got his foot cut off and all that extraness for his woman. We have to do it as us ladies. Stop hating. Girls, I know y'all hating.
You want us to follow
I'm just
your
saying.
lead.
No, I think,
but men are like, not trying to hate on you guys. Zoe's very smart. You guys are very smart, but you guys are you're quickly manipulated. Women, you guys love women. That's the end of the day. That's what everybody wants. So
women.
look, he don't even know what we're talking about now. right? So I
Cheyenne?
Go ahead.
I mean, I think that it depends on who can lead. I think that there are some women that can take the lead prior to the man, and there are some men that can do it as well. I think it just depends on the individual. I think it's both parties. I don't think the black woman should wait for the man to lead, and then she's in the neck and follows, or the head and follows, and I don't think the black man should wait for her to lead. I think that everyone does their part. We support one another in doing each other's parts, and then we see how we can be of service to one another in doing our part. I think that would be the best way for the solution. And also going back to Kunta Kinte, he left first, being that he's the man. He left. He
didn't leave first. They were separated on the auction block. Go back and watch the movie now.
Okay,
Shit.
they were separated.
Gonna turn it into Kunta Kinte leaving her.
He ran off.
He didn't run off.
I'm not saying
That's
he
the
left her.
remix.
I'm saying he ran. He escaped first and came back and got his woman right along.
He escaped to find her.
Right.
He heard she was on a plantation a few states over.
And went and got her. So what I'm saying is that as far as the leadership in that dynamic,
Tried to make him run off.
So you're trying to make me the bad person again. I'm controversial, but I'm not the bad person.
Somebody call in and check Cheyenne.
This is why I have to. If you see when I speak, they will call in and they're controversial. They'll check me.
Hey.
But the point is, he left to go find her. He assumed the leadership position first to go get his woman.
And she said, get the fuck
I'm
out of here.
I'm not responsible for what she said or did. I'm saying as far as the
Next.
leadership roles, Kunta took his black tail and he took the leadership role first.
But you know what? Like Veronica was saying earlier, she vibrated to him. Like she didn't text him. How did you know what I'm saying? Like her womanness made him want to travel states and
just to get to her. So as women, if we set an example of what we want our men to do, not by pointing and screaming and yelling and being that angry woman, by just being what we are, and it's beautiful.
Okay, so let me say this. Let me say this, and then we got to go to our caller. Let me just say this. Tell me I'm wrong, ladies.
You're wrong.
We're probably wrong.
In order for women to initiate, right? What I thought or what I think should be initiated in terms of us respecting and valuing each other and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that the black woman has to renounce her allegiance to the white supremacist system?
Say that.
Do you have to just say, fuck the system, I'm with him? What happens if that happens? 844-55-1. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Gilly on the line from Kentucky. Talk to me. Fucking,
hey, what's up?
Let me say something, Gilly. Bootleg ass Cheyenne is over here squirming. She didn't like that question. Go ahead, Gilly. Tell me what you want to say, man.
Come with it, Gilly.
I want to make two comments and only two comments, and then I'll yield the floor. One, the reason why we got bombed on in Black Wall Street time is because we didn't bear arms and we weren't able to defend ourselves. Second thing that I want to bring up is the Ferguson thing. Ferguson, we knew that when Eric Holder left the office at the IRS to come to be the justice man, we knew that he was going to kill Ferguson, because if you look at all the movies going all the way back to Walking Tall, we knew that Ferguson was a prejudiced area. They put it all in the movies before they put it out there.
Right.
So we knew what was going on with that from the jump. And I yield the floor.
Wow. Thank you for the call. Is that true? Is that true? Veronica? I mean, the phone lines is crazy right now. Veronica, Hecka, do you think the sister has to renounce her allegiance to the white infrastructure, to the system, in order and come back home to the brother? Now, when I say come back home, I don't mean just in a relationship sense. I mean in a system dependency sense. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Do you guys understand the question?
Yep.
I think the brothers are going to have to show the sisters that they think more of them than just bitches and hoes before the sister could ever feel like it's okay for her to come back to the brother.
Speak on
She's not
it.
going to leave what she know or what she's gained for herself to come back to a man that feels like she's a bitch and a whore and nothing more.
Yes.
And all of you guys do it. You guys call the sisters bitches, you call them whores, and then you expect for them to come fall at your feet. It's bullshit. That's what that is, with the spirit of excellence.
Thank you. Everything.
That was powerful. Veronica, yours, and then Whitney, and of course, Cheyenne.
Okay.
Veronica?
So before a woman can come home to a man, she has to first come home to herself, her body, her soul, her spirit. She actually has to detoxify herself from all of the pollution that has been populated in her from the dominant culture, from black men, from sexual trauma, from all this stuff. Now, to answer the question, though, is, how are we going to stop haterade? The woman is love. Wow. It's just that so few of our women actually know the experience of love that they have forgotten that's who they are. And the men hold so much toxicity in their consciousness that they transfer that to her, and they impregnate her with that. So, to Hecka's point, if men are holding women as images, as bitch hoe, right, then he's going to seed her with that, if that's his true idea of her, and she's going to give birth to that and manifest that. So it is, in fact, her job to represent love on this planet. It is, in fact, her job. It's our job to represent love. We just need, and we can initiate it, but we need some space to do it. The brother has got to set a space and a context for us to do that.
Wow.
It is yin and yang.
And Veronica, I need you to say more. I need you to say more on this particular angle. Are there certain women who are deserving of this and certain women who aren't? Or should it just be a blanket license of appreciation that should be laid down from man to woman?
No, I don't think it's blanket. I think that if a woman is responsible, and when I say responsible, I say it very intentionally. If she is responsible for doing her spiritual work, the work that has her be connected to the planet, to herself, to her God, to her to her receptivity.
What about even to Veronica? What about even to her intuition? Because isn't her intuition the direct pipeline to her inner God? Speak on it.
It is. It is. So she has to come down deep and detoxify all the stuff out of her field that stops her from connecting with that higher place. When she does that, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the receptive, intuitive woman has no shortage of men, black, white, purple, plaid, alien on this planet. She's got no shortage of them, and she don't have to deal with no bullshit from them. She'll magnetize them out of that space.
Wow.
But until she does that work, that's what qualifies her.
Wow.
He's got to do his own work, absolutely, which is to clarify his mind so that he is a righteous deposit into her.
Wow.
He can't keep filling her with whole bitch, and not expect her to give birth to that.
Damn, Gina.
Listen, we got to take a
And
quick
not to
break.
mention- not to
Wait. We got to take a quick break. Hecka, I'm going to come back to you on that. Soon as we come back, we going right to Hecka Activated. Hey, if you want a free reading, call us right now at 844-55-1. 844-55-1. Get it, Hecka Activated. When we come back, she going to finish that thought. Hey, this topic is crazy right now. We'll be back at 2.2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the building. The phone lines is crazy right now. Hecka, I want you to make your point, and then I'm going right to, who do we got on the line? We got Sean from Virginia. We got LB from Connecticut. We got Lamar from Chicago. I'm taking all three of y'all when I come back. Hecka, give me what you had to say before the break. Heck.
Great point. And I totally agree with her 100%. We have to get back to the place where we recognize who we are as women. And we will never get there if we don't recognize that sometimes we have to be alone in doing it. Sometimes we have to relieve ourselves of the energy, men, that is causing all this havoc in our lives, is bringing all this toxic stuff into our lives. But we're so afraid of just releasing that energy and being alone for a minute until we find out who we are and how we're supposed to operate here in this realm. That's all I wanted to say.
I definitely
Good
agree.
shit,
I
good
definitely
shit.
agree with that. Everything.
Fire. Listen, we got callers on the line. Sean from Virginia. Holla at me, man.
Hello,
What up, fam?
Yo, I wanted to add something to it because you asked a question earlier about, do women have to renounce white supremacy in order, to get back?
No. Her allegiance on the white supremacist system.
Of course she does. She has to renounce the white supremacist, her allegiance to that, because that's what's controlling. That's what's dividing us. That's what's keeping us apart right now. Is white supremacy.
But at the same time, she's got to live. She got to pay her bills. She got to eat, right? So how do we wean her off the tit of the white supremacist system?
We need to separate her from that white supremacist system. We all need to separate.
She ain't gonna let us do that. She gonna beat our fucking ass if we try to take her off that
My
tit.
name is Maggie now.
I'm Maggie, nigga. I'm not Fanta no more.
I love Fanta though.
We're gonna have to take her, drag and kick in her sleeves, and we're just gonna have to drag her out of
We
there.
just got to pick her up and just take her by force, right?
I wish it
Take her
looked
by
good.
force.
Right? And then we get these. Thanks for the call, Sean. I appreciate you reaching out. I thank you for holding on. Then we get the concept of I'm not your woman. You're not my man. Every man is my man.
Who says that?
Who is that?
I get that.
What?
Hey, I get that. I'm not just a black man's woman. Who?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Mix it up.
in the ownership
Right.
terminology.
You abandoned me. You've been fucking Becky for years. Every time you go to the NFL, you forget all about me. So fuck you, nigga.
Oh, because I'm too strong and independent,
Right.
and mean and all that, right? That's what it
LB
is?
from Connecticut, you're on the line. Chime.
What's up, Joe?
What's happening, fam? We good?
I agree with what Hector just said, where she's like, women have to learn how to be alone. It's very true. Women also have to learn how to be submissive. There's women out here who are just so aggressive and they want to be.
Now, you know that's an evil word. That is an evil word for black women.
I love that word.
They want to be the man in the relationship, but you have to understand there's a man and there's a woman in a relationship, and you have to let that man be the man, or like she said, you're going to be alone in life.
But is it? But yes, you can. But to speak to women, isn't it difficult to do that when they don't know how to do that, or if they've been by themselves, or if men have abandoned them and they've had to raise and deal with this shit alone?
Yeah.
Whitney,
that's all. Pretty much Zoe just said it. What I was about to say. Most women are aggressive or mean or the angry black woman because they had to be that man for their children, for themselves. But who's gonna do it then? I mean, real life. Who is gonna do it? Who's gonna feed my kids?
And then just
it's all about your upbringing, and it's about how you carry yourself. You don't have to be this aggressive, mad black woman at the world. Nobody's purposely trying to do anything wrong to you.
So me handling business. Sorry, go ahead. Do your thing.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, I just think that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
I think that women have to sometimes sit back and really analyze the situation. Not every man is trying to.
You mean like Whitney is doing right now?
We're trying to come at you.
Haters.
You know.
No, I'm definitely. I would love.
I
feel like most black women in America are probably misinterpreted. You guys take our strength as being aggressive and attacking you, but realistically, most women do want to play that role as the woman, and men just really aren't stepping it up. But.
So, hey, LB, thanks for the call, man. We really appreciate you. Lamar from Chicago, get up in here right now. I'm trying to clear these lines so we could get back to it in the last 25 minutes. Lamar, holla at me.
Hey, what's up, Zoe and family?
We good, man. We good. What's happening?
Hey. Oh, no, man. Chilling. This one, family, I'm gonna have to put this one on the brothers, and I know, like, rightfully, my nature wants to say, okay, the woman, but when you look at a woman, she embodies her man. And
say that, Lamar.
And I feel like us brothers, if we got on one code, that immediately forces the woman to do so.
Yes.
And the reason why, and it's like, because I've always, like, been around, like, strong brothers, and, like, I've watched their women, and, like, these brothers embody that. And, like, that's not no form of, like, telling you, like, you have to do so or you have to do so. That's called a code. And, like, when me and my sister, when we're on a code, that's going to automatically create a economical base. So she doesn't have to worry about working for the white man because we're on one code with one another.
So let me hit you with this. Lamar, let me, no, don't leave, brother. Don't leave. I got a question for you. Do you think as long as the system as it is, the system of white supremacy with all of its biases, do you think as long as that system is stronger than the black man, that the black woman will be intrinsically attracted to it? 844-55-1. Anybody can answer that. Holla at me.
No, and like, I mean, like, basically, like, to answer your question, brother, like, the system of white supremacy is a coward system, and like, and at no point I give it no power. I give it no power because we as melanated people, that system was created because our white brothers and sisters, they are the true minority, and they have to create a system of when they're under basically malfunction and when they're scared of, like our Dr. Fresh Cross Weston said, when they're scared basically of being genetically wiped out, they have to resort to a system like that. But that comes out of fear of how strong we are. So I don't give that system no power, but I understand it exists, but I still have to empower myself because that's what makes us great, that we still here. We didn't been lynched, robbed, you name it, and we're still here.
Man.
So I just, that's it.
Let me just say, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for reaching out and sharing, man. This is what this platform is about. This platform is about all the listeners. You get to your phone lines, 844-55-1. I want to hear your opinion on this topic. We all over the place. We talking about Ferguson. We talking about the fallacy of all of that. We talking about how black people get taken advantage of with propaganda, all the things that are going down. What's this other caller here? We got the adjuster on the line. Go. You on the line live.
War Eagles, though.
What's War Eagle, Alabama?
Yes. How you doing, Doctor?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing great.
What's up to the rest of the ladies?
Oh, hey.
Hello.
What's poppin'?
What you got for us, War Ego?
Yeah, not to top the line too long. I really wanted to ask Hecka a question, but to touch on what you...
Go ahead. You can ask her. You can ask her. Hecka is on, brother. You can ask her and make your point. You just got to do it fast. Okay, 30 seconds.
Go.
Okay, well, it's a long point, so I'll just use a bunch of arrows.
Quickly, brother, quickly.
Female biology, number one, security. So they're going to seek the most powerful.
That's why I say as long as the white supremacist system is in place.
Black man, that's not us right now. So we're kind of coming up short in their eyes.
Damn.
And biologically, they are driven to seek other or more powerful.
Just the nature of a woman to go
and
to
the black
power.
man is being held down, so I can't see how it can be us that extends the olive branch.
Wow.
It has to be them.
Wow.
They have to be willing to sacrifice in order to bring us all up.
Would they get rid of that power in order to come back home to us? Do you think that's even...
I don't think so.
Wow. Okay, ask Hecka your question really quickly, brother. We got to move. Callers is calling in like crazy.
Okay, Hecka, I felt that. Go ahead. My question is, what is my life path? What is my purpose?
That's dope.
That's a good question.
What is your purpose? Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I think you have a huge purpose, as all of us do, to find out what your purpose is on this earth. That's your main purpose. But as it pertains to what you should be doing as far as your career is concerned, is that what you're asking?
No.
It's not a career question.
Your purpose. You have a purpose. You have a purpose to wake up every morning and breathe, as we all do. So, specifically, what question are you asking as it pertains to your purpose?
Okay, let's go with spiritually.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. What's your spiritual purpose? I feel as if there's a healer.
Stop that.
A healer
Stop that.
affecting
Please
you.
stop that.
And I feel like that healer. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead, Hecka.
I feel like there's healing, and I feel like the healing actually comes with the hands. There's hands. There's healing as far as the hands are concerned.
You mean like
but
a masseuse?
I don't think that you're really... well, I mean like Reiki healing or something of the sort. Not necessarily massaging somebody, but healing through the hands. Energy healing through the hands is the energy that I get.
Is that something you into?
If you're tapping.
I love laying hands on them.
Oh, hell.
Well, you're right. I guess we found an occupation for him.
Hey, thank you for that, Hecka.
All right, adjuster, man. I appreciate you, man. I look forward to hearing from you on Monday. We've got, who is this, Hustler? Hustler has an S in it, my friend. Hustler from Miami in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Hustler, holla at us.
Hey, what's up, brother Zoe?
What's happening, man?
Ladies?
Hello. What's poppin'?
I mean, it's a deep topic, so I'm going to just try to get straight to it. Basically, I think we could all agree that we're in a battle right now, right?
Right.
Black community versus the dominant society.
Right.
Now, if somebody doesn't get that, I mean, it's plain as day. And if they can't pick that up, we're going to just kind of have to leave them at the side and move on.
Wow.
But at this point, we need to find some type of resolution. We need to find some answers. Like y'all was talking about Sun Tzu earlier, and he says the war is won before it begins. You understand? system was already set up before we got in it.
Wow.
It may not have been the system that we created, but we within it now, so we have to find our way out of it or through it.
Wow.
So my question to y'all is, where can we find this beginning? Because we may not be the ones to fix it, but we may spark the mind that does. You understand what I mean?
Wow. Good point, man. Good point. I appreciate the call, man. Please continue to tune in. We're here 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That was a heavy question. How do we get? Yes, Veronica. I was gonna come to you anyway, Veronica, because there was a couple of things I wanted you to address. I wanted you to address the masculinity that sisters have to take on in order to maintain within corporate America, and what that what the side effects of that may be, and then also address the brother's question.
Yes, I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
So, our sisters have simply become too brittle in the face of having to go out and breadwin, fight the system, the sexism, racism, and because we are these, like the Chama talks about, we're the subconscious of the planet, we transmit everything. You know how like when women get their periods sync up? It's the same way that we transmit insanity or sanity to each other.
Wow.
And so the more of us go into a masculine posture, the more that we broadcast that to our sisters. So if you put a sane woman in the midst of 12 insane women, then she will pick up on their stuff and she'll become more insane. But if you put an insane woman in a group of 12 sane women, then she'll rise to the vibration of sanity. So that's the first thing, is that we have to understand that what we are, the way that we compromise ourselves out here in this agenda that was built for us, and because we take everything in through our subconscious, we just manifest it. We have to understand that there's another agenda. We have to decide the agenda, but we have to deconstruct all that's been poured into us so that we can be with our own agenda or our man's agenda. And then secondarily, I want to bring it kind of all back home, because it's easy to think that politics and sex and the polarities of the sexes are all different, but it's actually all the same. The reason that I talk about money, sex, and power is because they're all currencies. They're all currents that flow through this planet and through the universe and through our bodies. Money is a currency. Power is a currency. Sex is a currency, if you really understand it. And so it's interesting that the thing that has been ripped from us is our innate relationship to sexuality. The thing that they're most afraid of is us having sex with them. That's why racism exists. That's at the root of racism. So it sounds really simplistic and naive to say that we could begin to love each other into being a high enough vibration to really put a hurting on this beast. It sounds simplistic, but because I've seen it happen and I've experienced it myself, I would say that we cannot get this done without each other, without yin and yang, without conscious sex. Believe it or not, it is a more powerful weapon than their guns, but we got to drop theirs and pick up ours.
Wow. This is a powerful topic, man. And it's riveting, it's moving. I didn't really want to talk about this today, but a nephew of mine, yesterday killed his sister. One of my best friends that I grew up with when I was 10. I call his nephew my nephew because I was there when he was born. I was there when his sister that he killed yesterday at 6:40 a.m. in the morning. I was there when she was born. They are separated by 1 year. She was 32. He's 31. Whatever the beef was it that serious that you would kill your sister?
That's crazy.
it hurt, man, because I haven't even talked to my homie yet, because I don't know what to say. His mom called me. Well, I called him because the dude posted a video on Facebook, and it was 14 minutes long, and he was on the run at that point. And I just assumed that the video was because he broke up with his girl. So I was like, call me. He never called. So as the day went on, I called, my homeboy's crib, and his mom asked, she said, oh, I guess you heard. And I said, well, no, I ain't heard. I just saw a video of my nephew, on Facebook. So I just called to see what was happening. She said, well, he killed his sister this morning. And then I went back and watched the rest of the video. And the rest of the video is talking about his upbringing and a lot of the issues that happens in the black community. My mama didn't love me the way I was supposed to be loved. She was chasing thug niggas. And at the end of the day, I'm a good person, and I'm 30 something. I didn't go to jail. I haven't done drugs. That, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't love us. She didn't hug us. She didn't want us. She didn't do this. She told us she hated us at times, blah, 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 yada, yada. I mean, he encapsulated a lot of the bullshit that's going on. And then all of his issues were socioeconomic. All of his issues had something to do with some type of racism or classism. And that's no justification to go kill your sister. But God damn, the pressure of just living in this kind of system made that the right answer for him. And I'm heartbroken because for both of them, I felt like I was somewhat responsible. Because me and her uncle, we took her under our wing. She was studying what we were studying. He was studying what we were studying. They were looking up to us.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hard.
And then for that to happen, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we as a people, man, like I said, the religion got to be respect. It can't be Christianity or Islam no more. The religion has to become respect. And respect comes via value. We don't value each other. If we don't value our businesses, what makes you think we value each other's souls?
Or even ourselves.
God
for that sake.
damn. That's a cold situation.
That's crazy.
That's a cold situation. So
Condolences to the family. That's really hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, that
you
breaks
feel
my
me?
heart.
You feel me? If we doing this kind of shit, we are never going to come to an understanding. I always say to people, I say black people need to find out all of the lost history so we can get over ourselves, so we can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
We're like adopted kids who don't know their real parents. So we don't know our social game rules. We don't know our story. So we still harping and hurting over that lost story. But we need to get all that information so we can get over it, so we can move forward.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I agree.
It's a hurtful situation. But let me just say this. Veronica Conway, where can people find you? How do they connect with you? How do they link up with you?
VeronicaConway.com. You want some reprogramming designed for black people? BlackMastery.com.
Oh, Black Mastery is fucking incredible, by the way. Go to BlackMastery.com. Listen, it's the best $200 you'll ever spend. BlackMastery.com. I'm sorry. Finish saying what you were saying.
Anybody that wants to, I'm doing my next boot camp. We make hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes in my boot camps, virtual boot camps. You can do it in your bunny slippers.
Support black
If you
business.
want to change your business and make real money, then email me at veronicaconway.com, because that's what we do around here. We make money in weeks.
Good stuff.
VeronicaConway.com.
Good stuff. Hecka activated. I'm telling you, she got a shit, man. If she charged me for every reading she's ever given me, she would be a trillionaire by now. She is the coldest psychic medium ever. Believe me, what she does on the radio is nothing compared to you calling her, connecting to her business. I endorse her because everything she's ever said for me has been true. Hecka, where do they find you?
You find me at www.heka, Heka, activated, just like it sounds, .com. And you could also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Heka Activated.
Wow. Thank you, Hecka. Whitney Tabor.
What's poppin'?
Flower power.
Hey.
What's happening?
What's up, y'all? You can find me on Twitter at Miss Tabor. That's Taber. Same with Instagram. Hit me on Snapchat. I have MissTabor.com. We got all things popping all over the place. So just holla at your girl.
Please get at her. She's beautiful. Just Jesus Christ. Cheyenne Bryant.
Dr. Bryant. It's Twitter and Instagram. It's @_Dr. Bryant. Facebook, just search Cheyenne Bryant. And website for my book, Mental Detox, is mentaldetoxbook.com. You can go on Amazon.com for ebook. And then we're at the Agape Spiritual Center in Culver City if you want to walk into a bookstore.
Hey, the world is listening to us. You can't just talk about Culver City.
Well, that's where it's at in Los Angeles.
Right,
Culver
Jesus,
City, Los
the world
Angeles.
is listening. But it's all good. Please support my Indiegogo page. It's ZWMS, right? That's Zo What Morning Show. ZWMS and Relationship Dismount Book Tour. I'm trying to put a book tour together to support my relationship book that I'm coming out with. The relationship book is called The Relationship Dismount: How to Stick the Landing When Leaving a Traumatic Relationship. It is the quintessential, spiritual, practical relationship breakup book. 12 chapters. At the end of every chapter, there is like 6 or 7 exercises at the end. It's crazy. But I need your help raising this money. Please get to my Indiegogo page, ZWMS and Relationship Dismount Book Tour. Any little bit will help. I'd appreciate it if you support my movement. Go to IamZoeWilliams.com. That's my personal website. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. Zowhat. Follow me on Twitter at ZoeWilliams. And really go to my YouTube page, The Zo What Show, no spaces. All right? And follow us, man. This is what we do. We want to touch people. We want to change the world with this information. Get at us. We only going to grow. Dash Radio, Hot Button Radio. Whoop. I'll see y'all Monday with another barn burner, the voice of reason. I'm out.
Happy
VOR.
birthday,
Good night. Good night.
Happy birthday.